everybody, Janae here. I am going to bring to you my book outlet haul that I got from their Black Friday sale. I got 14 books, so I'm just going to jump right into this and show you what I got. I'm sorry this isn't an unboxing, but I got these books a few days ago and I couldn't wait to peek in the box. I didn't shuffle anything around yet, so it's kind of like an unboxing, but again, I've said this before, I just find that they're super awkward, and I don't need any help being awkward, so I'm just going to pull books out of the box as they are. So the first book that I want to show you in this haul is Life Unaware by Cole Gibson. So this is about a girl named Reagan Flay, and she is kind of like your typical do-gooder perfectionist. She's, cheerleading and kind of going above and beyond trying to get into a good school. Her mom is, I think, in the Senate, and so she's really pushing her to have a good image, join all these extracurriculars, and so she's cracking a little bit under the pressure. And then after that, or beyond all of that, she goes to school one day and finds that all of her really mean text messages and emails and instant messages and all of that have been found and printed out and taped to several lockers in the school. And so everyone is kind of getting a glimpse into the things that she says about them behind closed doors, and it's not always a nice glimpse. It's rarely a nice glimpse, I'm gathering from the back of this book, and so I'm just really interested to read this. It had a pretty good rating on Goodreads, and so I decided to pick it up and see where it goes. The next book that I have to show you all is called The Snow Child by Ewan Ivy. I don't know, right there. And so this book is about a couple living in Alaska. They really want a child, and their marriage is kind of strained because they haven't had one yet. And they one day decide to build a snow child, basically. When they go inside, the snow child is gone, but they discover this little girl kind of running wild through the woods. And I think it's just a story about them coming to care for her. I've heard it has a kind of a sad ending. I'm not sure. Or it's just kind of a melancholy book in general. But the premise of it really kind of grabbed me in, and so I decided to get it. It also has good reviews on Goodreads. And so I'm really excited to pick this up, see what's going on. I need a kind of a sad read every now and then. Puts me back in touch with my emotions. So I'm really excited to get to this one, and I will let you all know when I do. The next book that I have to show you all is called Wild Awake by Hilary T. Smith. And I don't know a whole lot about this book. I saw another booktuber recommend this book, and it had to have been I don't know, a month or two ago, and I wish I remembered who it was because I think they gave a better summary than I am able to. But I can't remember. I've seen it a few places though, and it sounded really interesting whenever people are talking about it, so I decided to go ahead and grab it. It's super colorful. I love the cover. And what I can glean from, what I've heard is that it's a really good book, and something that I'd be interested in, and so I went ahead and picked it up. The next book that I have here is This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales. So I have been wanting this book for a little while. When I first heard of Book Outlet, I went onto, the site, saw this book on there and wanted to order it, kept it in my cart a little bit too long, and it was gone. When I saw they had it back right before the Black Friday sale, I was like, I'm getting it this time. I've heard really good things. I think it's about a girl who is not super popular at school, and finds a kind of like a underground club or something like that where she can DJ, and has kind of built a different personality for herself, or is kind of able to let her true personality shine out, and then somehow the two worlds may collide. I'm not sure, but it sounds really interesting from what I've heard. I wanted to pick it up. I've wanted it for a while, and so I thought, why not 30% off of an already greatly priced book. The next book that I have to show you all is actually nonfiction, and it is called Rereading Sex by Helen Horowitz. So this is, the subtitle is Battles Over Sexual Knowledge and Suppression in 19th Century America. This is a Pulitzer Prize finalist. So was, I think, The Snow Child. I have quite a few of those in this haul. but it's nonfiction. It just sounds really interesting. I've said in a previous video, I'm really interested in like matters of like sex and love and intimacy, the way the brain works through those, and also how people kind of internalize those feelings, how they express those feelings, how they come to know the things that they know. And this is kind of like a literature review of all types of different media in the 19th century regarding sex. So it's about people's attitudes towards sex, different topics, things like that. And so I just thought it would be super interesting to kind of take a blast from the past approach, I guess, and see how people were thinking about this, far ago, long ago. And so I don't know, thought it'd be interesting, picked it up. It's pretty thick. So I don't know when I'm going to get to it because I have a few other nonfiction books that I want to read, but I'm really excited about this, and yeah, that's it. So the next book that I have to show you is Speak by Lori House Anderson. I don't know if you can tell, this like silver part is shiny. It's really a beautiful cover. And it's about I think a 15-year-old girl. Oh, I don't know. She's a freshman, so maybe 14, and she busts up a end of summer party by calling the cops, and everyone hates her. Her social life going into high school is ruined, and eventually throughout this book she tells why and what happened, and apparently that changes everything. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the twist is. I'm really excited to find out. This seems really interesting. And I don't know. I really like books where there's like a big misunderstanding, and then the person who's misunderstood has like vindication in the end. I don't know. I just really like that kind of story, and so I'm excited to read this. Again, like I said, the cover's so pretty. But yeah, I picked this up, and it's pretty thin, so I'll probably get to it soon. And that's it. So the next book is called All the Rage, and that's by Courtney Summers. This is a book, it's, kind of like a heavier, darker book, and it is about rape culture and what that means in our society and how it manifests in kind of everyday life, and also in, situations where rape it has happened and is a problem. As opposed to a potential problem. And I think it's about a girl who has been assaulted by the son of the sheriff, and no one believes her. The son of the sheriff is like a golden boy in their town, but she has this job in a diner where no one knows who she is, and so she kind of that's her escape. But then another girl in a different county goes missing, and someone else accuses the son of rape as well. And so she has to make a choice of whether she speaks out again and has no one believe her again, or just keep silent. And I've heard really good things. I don't know. I mean, I know enough about the book to summarize it, but I don't know where it's going to go after that, clearly. That's the point in reading it. But I don't know. I'm just really interested in authors writing about rape culture and about all types of oppression and just really tough issues in ways that make them accessible. And so I'm really excited about this book. And I will most likely let you all know how I feel about it when I'm done with it. All right. So the next book I have is Her and Me and You by Laura Strasnick, also pretty thin. It didn't have all of the best reviews on Goodreads. I decided to give it a chance anyway, even though I got burned doing the same thing with The Sweet Spot in my last really big haul. I still decided to go ahead and check this out. The story just sounds interesting. There's a girl who moves to a new town, and she meets this guy, is interested in him. Then she meets his sister. Her sister's not really nice to her, but then maybe kind of falls for her too, or makes a move on her or something like that. People warn her away from this brother and sister, but she's drawn to them for some reason. And so I don't know much else about it or what their relationship kind of looks like in the book or by the end of it. But it just sounded interesting, and so I decided to give it a chance. And I will let you all know, whether in a review or a wrap up, how I feel about this. The next book I have is Signs and Wonders by Alex Olin. So this is a book of short stories. There's 16 short stories in here, all written by Alex Olin. I haven't read any of her short stories before. I haven't read like a series of short stories in quite a while, and not necessarily a series because they're not connected, but sat down and read a book of short stories. But I'm interested. Again, it's kind of one of those things where it's Book Outlet. They're having this huge sale. Books are basically like $1 or $2 each, depending on the book. And so I'm like, why not? And so I'm really excited about it. I will let you all know how I feel about it. But I've heard really, really great things about this. And so I'm ready to just pick it up and see how it goes. So the next book that I have to show you all is The Rock and the River by Kekla Magoon. So this book it's also had really great reviews. This is a scratch and dent book. You can tell there's a little crease right here, but I'm not worried about it. It's set in 1968 in Chicago. There's this boy who his son is his father, I think, is a pastor and is also a civil rights activist. And he's really heavy into the, nonviolent stand up for your rights, but in a nonviolent way movement. While his older brother, not the preacher's older brother, but I guess the preacher's oldest son, is involved somehow with the Black Panther Party, who are very radical and not nonviolent in their ideology. And so the little brother is kind of trying to decide where he fits in. Does he follow his dad, who, he's been following all of his life, and not following, but he's been raised by, and has some of his ideology is definitely worn off on him. Or does he follow his brother to the Black Panther movement when he feels like the nonviolent movement isn't making enough traction, isn't making enough waves? And then there's apparently another twist in here where he gets involved in something that he just never expected. I don't know what that is, but I'm really excited about this book. I had never heard of it before, but I saw it on Book Outlet, went to Goodreads to check out the reviews, and it's probably one of the highest rated books that I bought in this haul. And so I'm just really excited to read it. Yeah, I will let y'all know what I think. So the next book that I have for you all is Pretty Girl 13 by Liz Coley. So this book is about a 16-year-old girl. She has gone through 3 years of some kind of abuse. She was, I think, kidnapped maybe when she was 13, and now she's back home at 16. She doesn't remember any of those 3 years. Her brain has repressed all of that. So she looks in the mirror, sees a 16-year-old when she really feels 13. And this whole book is her trying to piece together what happened, trying to remember what trauma happened to her. To cause her to repress those memories, and just so that she can deal with those things and move on. I've heard it's a pretty dark book, but that it's really good. I'm jazzed about it. I haven't read too many dark things lately, and I think I'm ready for that. And so I am just ready to pick this book up. I was really excited about it, and yeah, I'll let y'all know. So the next book that I have for you all is The Truth About Alice by Jennifer Matthew. This is about a girl named Alice. At school, she has a reputation for being a slut, and so somehow connected to the crash of one of the school's kind of golden boys. He crashed his car and died, and apparently he was texting Alice when he did it. And people just already kind of have a disdain for her, and are outright mean to her. And this book is told from, I think, 4 perspectives of people who know her, so you get their account of what happened and who Alice is. And the book summary kind of ends with, but the best person to ask is Alice herself. And so I'm assuming we'll hear from Alice to kind of clear up everything, and that's how the book will be resolved. But I really like books like that, where you kind of go through a lot of different people's perspective and then get it all wrapped up in the end. So I'm excited about this, and yes, I hope to be reading this soon. Okay, the next two books, they're the last two books as well, I am super excited about. And so the first one that I will go ahead and show you all is Dantes Inferno. So I bought this book. I actually had a copy of the whole Divine Comedy. Divine Comedy. They had it bind up with all three books in one. And it got bought before I could place my order. And so I saw this, and I know it's only the first one, but I decided to go ahead and pick it up because I've always wanted to read the Divine Comedy, and I just never have. But when I got it, I didn't realize when I bought it, rather, that it's illustrated. And so it's not like a comic book illustrated, like a graphic novel, but there are illustrations to go along with the story. And I'm just so happy about that. I think it's going to be great. I have something to look at while I'm reading this like piece of classic literature. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it. Like I said, have wanted to read this for a while, and now I get to do so. So I will do that soon. The next book and the last book that I have to show you all today, I am so excited about. I previously have said I think that I'm not one who cares about like book covers, and I will never buy different books and, you know, with different covers, blah blah blah, because, you know, once you have a book, you have it. And I fully believe that. When I was younger, though, for some reason, I was obsessed with the story, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I had probably like 4 or 5 copies of that book just because I don't even know why. And I don't even think I ever really finished it back then. But anyway, what I got off of Book Outlet is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a graphic novel. And so I'm so excited about this. Like, my 4th grade inner self is leaping with joy. I've just always been drawn to the story, like I said, and to find out that it's also a graphic novel now, if you all want to, telling the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that way. Again, I don't know why. I've just always been drawn to this story, and I'm really getting into graphic novels now, and so it's just an awesome marriage of the two, and I'm really excited to pick this up. I will probably read this at some point over my winter break from work, and I don't know. I'm just excited about it, and I will let you all know what I think. Yay! So that was all of the books that I bought during the Black Friday book outlet sale. I hope you all enjoyed. If you see any books that you've read or that you want to read, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about it or why you're anticipating it. And yeah, tell me if you got any books during Black Friday. I'm sure most people are doing hauls with those books right now. And I think that's all. I'm going to let us all go now. But once again, I'm so happy that you are spending some time with me. You don't have to, and you've chosen to do so anyway. And I greatly, greatly appreciate you. I hope you have a great day, night, week, weekend, whatever. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!